In the new trailer that's recently come out for Godzilla and Kong: The New Empire, a brand new enemy is revealed to not only be going head to head with the other two massive monsters in the film, but he's someone that's made a massive name for himself in the Hollow Earth, making an entire colony of Kongs cower in fear at his arrival, and even wielding something made from the bones of dead monsters adorning his body. But possibly the most devastating thing to learn about this foe happens to be from some new information the director revealed, which dives deeper into what kind of monster we're going to be getting here and how brutal of a threat he could be to the King of the Monsters and King of the Kongs. What's going on, guys? Hope you're all doing well. Now, for today's video, I wanted to talk about something Adam Wingert, director of GXK, recently shared about the new Scar King in the movie. So, a recent quote from the man that actually helmed the newest Monsterverse film had this to say about the new big bad. Quote, "He's a devilish Kong-type character. We wanted to come up with an antagonist that would both be a match for Kong and Godzilla, and that's really hard to do. There's a lot more to this character and how he's a threat, and that's going to be something that's going to be fun to kind of dull out. Judging by the previous film, Mechagodzilla alone was a massive threat to not only Godzilla but Kong as well, and it took them both teaming up to get rid of that guy. But this one is much different. Not just a mechanical monster made from the remains of Ghidorah, this is something that's way more aggressive, biological in nature, and intelligent, actually living in the Hollow Earth and amassing some sort of status for himself. Now, we can see immediately in the new trailer for GXK that Kong is on the run from more than just the ordinary creature or two in the film, with a massive pack of wolf-like creatures some speculate to be a death jackal trying to hunt him down. Now, we already see in the trailer that the Kongs as a race are kind of subordinate to this new threatening Scar King, and with the arrival of a massive crab-like monster attacking the surface, it could very well be that these are creatures that the Scar King is actively fighting against on a daily basis. Or they're also subordinate to him. For whatever reason, this much older and chaos-looking creature that harkens back to the days of primal rage seems to have cut a name for himself that's far bigger than Kong ever has, with his menacing trademark handprint adorning several locations that we apparently have already seen without even knowing it was from him. This may very well be the most brutal and threatening Kong to ever live, and he's someone that will most definitely give the two protagonists a run for their money. Godzilla is only seen deep within the Hollow Earth, trapped within some sort of crystal-like cocoon, where he is allegedly powering up and evolving in order to fight the new enemy. That's pretty serious for Godzilla to have to do. And look, Kong is forced to wear some sort of advanced armor around his hand like a glove to attack the new foe. I have no idea what exactly the battle is going to look like in the end, but there's also something to be said about the species of the Scar King. Being a new Devil Kong type of character that the director has talked about, it's an interesting description to say the least, because judging by what the trailer shows us, he may actually be a different race from the more gorilla-inspired Kongs and more along the lines of the miniature orangutan creature that we saw in the trailer. If this is true, then that could mean that the orangutan Kongs are actually at odds with the more gorilla-looking ones, and it could even be why there are so many Kong skulls adorning his throne and habitat areas. Or this could mean that a hierarchy system is in place, and the orangutan versions of the Kong species are kind of commingling with the more gorilla-looking ones in a similar structure to what we could find in a Planet of the Apes film, which coincidentally also has a new movie coming out, which I would love to talk about in the future. We don't know for certain if the orangutan son of Kong is belonging to Scar King, like that's his father or heir to the throne, but we do know that that species looks remarkably different from what we see in the more gorilla-inspired King Kong look. And judging by what's in the trailer, I think it's safe to say that the little mini Kong is not the son of King Kong as we classically know him. When it comes to the Scar King, though, in the New Empire, one thing is for certain: this devilish Kong is so powerful that he is forcing both Godzilla and King Kong to power up in a manner so drastically different from what we've seen before that it could very well be making him out to be the most devastatingly aggressive opponent we've ever seen in the Monsterverse to date. We already saw Ghidorah get the imagery of a cross framed in a manner to picture him as some sort of demonic entity, and with the new poster showcasing the statue of Jesus Christ, the King of Kings himself, over Brazil, while this monstrous enemy is going up against Godzilla and Kong, the Scar King could very well be a bad guy that we've never seen tackled before in the Godzilla universe. The fact that he comes up from under the ground, by the way, with a bunch of lava and red fire-like imagery, it's pretty hellish in and of itself. So yeah, I'd say that this is going to be one bad guy that the two monsters are going to have to take down no matter what. When it comes to Godzilla x Kong, this is a film that I have a lot of interest in because it is so drastically different from -1 that it's almost approaching a comical Showa-like caricature. There were some versions, I believe in Germany, where Godzilla vs. Megalon had a side story where it was actually King Kong underneath the Jet Jaguar armor, but I'm not so sure that was official in even the German versions of the film. What I'm saying here is that we're going back to the goofier side of the franchise, like King Kong Escapes, or even something along the lines of Gigan or the original Mechagodzilla or Hedorah. This is very interesting because a bad guy like the Scar King forcing two monsters to team up and be more anthropomorphic is very crazy. I've heard rumors that the bone-like structure on his body is actually a whip from deceased enemies he's killed, and just his massive size alone makes this thing brutal. This is an original monster in the new series that I think is going to cause a lot of problems for both Godzilla and Kong. And I know a lot of people have speculated already that this could be the creature that actually makes Kong the king instead of just normal Kong that we've been calling him over the last few films. I don't know about all that just yet. In fact, we don't even know how Godzilla is powering up in general, and there's so many unexplained things in this movie that are going to be fun to finally see. But the bottom line, this is a Devil Kong, a massive, war-torn enemy similar to Koba from Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. He's big, evil, nasty, and one of the biggest threats we've ever seen these guys take on. Anyways, guys, those are all just my own thoughts on this subject matter. But what do you guys think? What was your thoughts on the new Empire trailer, and do you think this movie could head in a direction that we've never seen before in these films? Personally, I think it looks like a lot of fun, and my theories about why he could be so big and bad and what he's going to be doing in the Hollow Earth might sound more Journey to the Center of the Earth, but that's because I've been a big monster movie fan forever, and it definitely looks like they're pouring everything into a blender for these newer Monsterverse films. But hey, whatever your own thoughts and opinions happen to be, I'd love to hear all about them in the comments down below.